To my fellow sisters in Christ, please do not waste your season of waiting, or some will say season of preparation. Don't waste it, because if you do, that blessing that you're waiting for is going to be delayed once again. One thing that I've been noticing online a lot is a lot of women who are waiting for a blessing, waiting for a breakthrough. And they spend a lot of time whining, pining, and lamenting about God taking so long. This is where I realize many sisters misunderstand the season of preparation. Because the season of preparation is very different from, say, like your season of healing. When you're healing, it's to recover from different things that have happened to you. It's for you to come in relationship with God and allow Him to do the necessary surgery. And then there's a recovery period. And then you're healed. And then you're starting to feel better than you did before. And that's part of the healing process. But preparation is taking everything that has happened over here, the healing, the recovery, the level up, if you will, and now putting that into practice. And it doesn't mean you got to wait till the breakthrough comes in order to put things into practice. You can put things into practice every single day. Let me take something simple that a lot of people are talking about these days: relationships. If you are waiting for your, promised one, your kingdom spouse, I don't care what label you want to put on it. But the fact of the matter is, if you had to go through a process to honor yourself, love yourself, see yourself the way God sees you, etc., and you've gotten to that point, now it's about putting everything that you've learned into practice as you prepare for the one who is promised to you. And the way you do that is how you treat the relationships, the existing relationships that you have right now. If you need to practice forgiveness, if you need to practice, compassion, empathy, really truly love the way love is meant to be, true love, you're not going to wait to do that when the person arrives. No, you do that right now. You do that with your family, you do that with your neighbors, you do that with, your coworkers, you do that with strangers. Everything that you've learned, every lesson that God has worked through and in you, you're supposed to do now. That's what preparing is. You know how they say, I stay ready so that I don't have to get ready? That is the season of preparation. Staying ready so you don't have to get ready when the blessing comes. And then when the blessing comes, and in this example, the form of a person, you know how to steward that relationship properly at the space and time that you're in. There's obviously going to be more that comes along with that, but for what you're being prepared for, by the time it comes, you are able to not only honor it, you're able to steward it, and you're showing up the way God intended you to. For a lot of you, you have heard the Lord say something very specific to you. And He said to you, get on this right now. I need you to work on this right now. And a lot of you are not doing it because you're too busy thinking about the blessing and why it hasn't arrived yet. When you're about your Father's business, you don't have time to think about how long this blessing is taking to get here. Some of you don't even understand, if we're sticking with relationships, that maybe the Lord is working on that other person and they need to do some certain things in order to be prepared for you. So at the end of the day, what is this really about? Is this really about wanting God's blessing and being obedient and being about your Father's business? Or is this about trying to fill a void somewhere and pretending that God is blessing this void that you're trying to fill. Because there's a fine line. And if you're not careful, like, first of all, God can't be mocked. Let's start right there. He can't be lied to. Like, what are we doing here? Are we really trying to play God like he's dumb? Because he ain't. So when you start to get serious about your relationship with him, being an obedient child of God, and doing the things that he is telling you to do, then and only then will movement start to happen. And it won't be in the physical. You won't see it, but it will be in the spiritual. And sometimes it will be in the background, even though it looks like nothing's happening. But it starts with obedience. It starts with doing exactly what God told you to do, what he wants you to work on right now. So you don't have to get ready because you're staying ready. So I know I'm very passionate in my speech, but I pray that every sister who comes across this really gets exactly what I'm saying. Like I said, I've been there before. I've questioned, like, why is this not happening in my life right now? Or, different areas of my life seem to be lacking. But it's not because it's lacking. It's because I'm not moving on the things that God has told me to move on. And because I didn't do those things, therefore, I delay myself in receiving that blessing, whatever the blessing is. And so I pray that you guys get something out of this to where you feel now like, oh, you know what? Let me be about my Father's business. Let me get to work and do exactly what he told me to do, because I'm telling you, there are a lot of you who know exactly what you need to do and you're not doing it. You're not doing it. Just to give you an example, I won't say to you specifically what the Lord told me to do, but right in January, he told me, get on this. And I did. Then he told me, go do this. And I delayed on doing that. And now I'm waiting, trying to, figure out, is this thing working out? Like, I'm not seeing any results. I'm not getting any feedback. But that's the cost of disobedience. And so I just, I feel very passionate about this when it comes to, sisters in Christ moving closer and closer to what God has for us. We must do exactly what he tells us to do, because we may think the result is one way, but it may be 10 times greater. And if we keep delaying ourselves from getting closer to that blessing, we have no one to blame but ourselves. So with that, this is the message for today. And I hope it's received well and it gives you time to think about what it is that God has asked you to do. Until next time, take care. Peace.